Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Happy Cinco de Mayo. My name is Barbara Suits. I am the Open Educational Resources and Instructional Materials Program Manager here at OSPI. And I'm joined today by our fabulous English Language Arts colleagues, Aira Jackson and Molly Berger. Before we get started and have them sharing some information about some great resources that you'll want to check out on the Washington OER Commons Hub, I want to tell you really briefly that if you would like to join along and visit the Hub while we see the resources that are being talked about, you can visit OER Commons, that's one word, .org/hubs, HUBS/Washington, and that will get you to our OER Commons site, the Washington OER Hub. You can find out more about the organization of this resource in a video that's on this playlist. So please feel free to check that out after you see the content on this video. Before I pass you over to Aira, let me just really briefly tell you that 2 opportunities just became available on May 1st. There are 2 grants open currently that deal with open educational resources. One is the OER Project Grant. The other is the Digital Citizenship/Media Literacy Grants. Both of those are available if you look on the OSPI website. And they both have a closing date of May 28th. So I do want to encourage you to check those 2 resource options out. With that, I am going to pass you over to my colleague, Aira Jackson, the director of ELA, and we'll turn it over to her.
Great. Thank you, Barbara, so much for inviting the English Language Arts Department to join you today. As Barbara pointed out, she showed you the landing page for the OER Hub, and here I am showcasing the OER, the ELA Hub landing page. And here we have a retinue of resources that highlight the different aspects of English language arts and literacy instruction. Today, we're going to highlight a couple of them, and we're going to start with our youngest readers and writers. It is Emergent Literacy, and we are so excited that Highline Public Schools graciously shared with us their foundational skills, I guess we should say, curriculum that they developed that focuses on phonemic awareness, phonological awareness, how to do letter sound identification, and how to say those sounds. And those are the skills that we all need to become our beginning readers and writers. So as you look at the ELA landing page, you'll scroll down and you can either search by grade band, or as I've been doing as we've been prepping for this session, I've just been scrolling down. And we're going to take a look at the Highline Schools first grade resource. Let me enlarge that a little bit for you. This resource gives you a whole word study guide. And what I love about it, and hopefully you can see this, is as we take it through, it's going to show you all of the resources that you need, from the word list to the letters you should focus on, to how do you actually map this out across a school year. And so what I love about this guide is, as I take you through a few pages, is this first one, a first grade scope and sequence. So starting from September, when we're back in that traditional school year, it takes you all the way through the end of the school year of talking about what should you focus on if you're in first grade, and these are the vowels or the letters that you're going to focus on. And it just kind of takes you through that in a very thoughtful, well-researched, best practice manner. And so we really appreciate that thoughtfulness that came forward in it. Then next, it also takes us into the different things that we need to do. We know with our youngest readers and writers and students, we really need to do something that's multi-kinesthetic. So this idea of having chants and hand signals, we know is more exciting for our students and gets them more energized. And also that multimodality piece also helps us trigger different aspects of our brain to get our students to kind of learn and hold on to new information, because it's not just us repeating, it's bringing our whole body and all different facets of our brain energy working together. So I really appreciate this thoughtfulness that was done by Highline. And then finally, because as I showed you that scope and sequence, that might be a big chunk to think about, The next piece is that they also have weekly lesson plans. So it digs in deeper to kind of tell you what should you be doing from day to day as you think about what your students need. And as always, it's what do your students need? What do you need to take a couple of extra days on? And what can you speed up because your students have gotten it and are ready to go on to that next lesson? So with that, we do have a quick thing. We're going to show a video actually of this in practice with a second grade classroom from our Highline Public Schools. And we'll watch that, and then I will go ahead. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing for just a sec and share one more time to make sure I have computer audio shared for you at that moment. And you should be able to hear this and see what it looks like in practice.
Sound E, like in the word see. Any other ways to spell?
One thing to notice about the way these phonics lessons are progressing is that there is a clear there's student engagement with every skill that is being practiced. So the lesson is fun, it's engaging, it's fast-paced, and there are no times when the kids are just sitting and not engaged.
Are you ready for your first word to write? Yes. Yes. Your word is see.
All right, so that's just a quick snippet of what it looks like. And one piece I did want to highlight is that if you see that we looked at the first grade word study, but if you scroll up, you'll also see that we have a kindergarten, a second grade, and we have a word study for our students in intermediate grades, so that 3-5 age band. So if you have a chance, come and take a look at what we have for our emergent readers and writers. Now I'm going to hand it over to Molly Berger, who will talk about resources for our upper grades.
Wonderful. Let me share my screen here for you. And I'm going to go here and share that so you can see it. I'm excited to be able to share these with you because this is an awesome resource, and we are just starting to build it, and it is growing greatly, the types of things you will see on this page. So if you look at the top of the page here, you have some of the things that have been put up recently to help people with the online learning and the shift to online learning. So we have tips for online learning. These are materials that are optional, that are online. This is reading in the time of COVID, which I think is really a great document. It shows you places, and I'm opening this one live for you so you can see how you get to it. You'll just always click on view the resource once you go in. And this gives you online texts, audiobooks, animated books, read alouds, and different licenses. So it's a great resource to look at. You also have some information from our assessment department here. And then you have some full-length modules. And these were developed by teachers from around the state coming together to develop these modules for different purposes, but they are appropriate for 9 through 12 and can be adjusted probably for 7 or 8 if you looked at your particular students and their needs. So we have Developing a Growth Mindset, Hero's Journey, and I'm actually going to open the Connected Reading module for you. And if you come here, you'll see that each of these full-length modules is based on this format of moving the student from being a reader or gatherer of information to a writer. So they examine the information, they evaluate it, develop their own thinking, and then they express it. And these are the steps that we see. They're designed for pre-unit work that you could do in your district, where you use a skill review or assessment of what skills the student needs, and the students do the action planning from there. You could do, it then moves into the introduction and then these different steps of the module and of the learning. As you scroll through, you will see all the background information here in the texts, and then you will see the shaded part. This is the teacher's view. And so the teacher sees all of this. The student view, if you open that, the student will just get the segments that are in the gray boxes. So these are the instructions for the teacher, and these are the instructions for the student. If you look at the top of the page and you look over here on the right, you have different documents that can be downloaded. So one of the articles in this module is how do you read best? And it has the students actually do a self-evaluation of under what situation do they read best? Do they read best when it's auditory, when it's maybe when there's music playing, a number of things for them to consider. Then what we've done is here we have a translation of that for our current times for remote learning. So whether you're online or whether you are having to send students materials in print, there's some suggestions there. And so these are the complete modules, and they are geared to go 4 to 6 weeks, and again, adaptable to what you need. The hero's journey is another one, and often used, this is a topic that's often used both in middle school or in high school, but the texts vary, and this one again will give you some great ideas and some materials. Finally, if we go back to this page, you'll see that we also have some pieces that are short. This is a lesson. This is Acrostic Poetry, and this is brand new. And we put it up here because we're working with the our arts department, because we have our art show for the seniors this spring. And Acrostic Poetry is art-inspired poetry. So you may actually do this activity and send in your students can send in their poetry to possibly be read at the live streaming of that art show. Or you can do this, and there's a video, PowerPoint slides to download, and just do it as an activity in your own classroom. What's also wonderful about all these modules is they are openly licensed. So you may adapt them, change them, add to them. And what we love is if you add to them, change them, if you share them, so we see the multiple versions and how they're used in different settings. So we're excited about this. We also are more than happy to work with anyone on developing OER or adapting OER. Barbara has some wonderful workshops on that, and we've done some specific to English language arts, and we would love to work with you on that. Barbara?
Thanks, Molly. If you could just stop sharing your screen there for a second.
There we go.
All right. That is pretty much it for us today. I want to thank you again for joining us. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you like these brief little snippets and highlights, please click the like and subscribe button on the OSPI YouTube channel. We'll try and keep doing these every 2 weeks and bring you new and interesting highlights of resources on the Washington Hub on OER Commons. Thank you guys all again. Have a wonderful afternoon and stay well. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.